Do you need an easy way to document the seasons? Well, I have a great tool that you can use, and they are my Creative Faith seasonal journals. And I love using these seasonal journals for documenting everything that happens in the season. It's a really great way to memory keep and just keep and capture all of photos and documents and highs and lows from the season. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my full spring 2025 journal flip through. So I'm going to show you all the pages, the ones I filled out, the ones I didn't, the memories I documented in here, and I'm really excited to be sharing this with you. And I wanted to mention too, I have seasonal journals for all the other seasons as well too. So I have summer journals, and all of these come with different prompts on the tops of the pages. So you can use those for documenting, and they come in various sizes as well. So I have summer journals, spring journals, I also have fall journals, Christmas journals, and winter journals. So every possible journal that you could need to document the season. And I will link my 2024 spring journal flip through video in the description box below if you want to see the one from last year. I also have a setup video from this one from this year. And then I'll also link my full summer journal flip throughs as well as some summer journal setup videos as well too. So you can get some ideas for the summer because that's obviously the next season to come. So really fun to again have all of these memories documented. And so today I'm going to share what my spring journal looks like on the inside, what I filled out, what pages I did. And again, like I said, it's just so sweet to have these memories documented in here. I love looking back on previous journals and just seeing what God did in the season. So I used the Traveler's Notebook size for the spring journal this year, but they come in B6 sizes or A5 sizes. So lots of different sizes to choose from depending on what kind of journals you like to use. And then I use a thin little Sharpie and I write on the binding, the year, and the season. And then I also add the year to the front as well too. And so I have these stacked like this on my bookshelf, and so I can see them and grab them and flip through them. So I love kind of adding a little bit to the front and margin, or what would this be? The binding. So I can see what I'm grabbing. So I had, like I said, a setup video where I kind of prepped a lot of the pages, and I will mention any printables that I used to set this up or use to document throughout. So if you want to check out those printables, you can. So the main printable I use to decorate this is my spring mugs and journals printable. And it has lots of really fun, beautiful elements that you can use to decorate and document the spring. And it is not too late to even pick up a spring journal and document your spring. I finished my 2021 summer journal at the beginning of 2024. It took me a while to kind of piece it together, and so it's never too late to document the season. Then there's a spot for you to put your name, and I love having prayers throughout my journaling pages, and I used my purple and gray prayer notepad that's available in the Creative Faith Etsy shop. I created a spring goals mood prayer board, and be sure you're following me over on Pinterest because I have seasonal boards for each season. So if you want to see some of the pictures that I have here, download them for yourself, for your journal, or you can check out, my summer one, winter one. I have them for every season. And so it's really fun to kind of curate these at the beginning of the season. Then I have some different Bible verses for spring and that I wrote out and journaled, and a lot of the time I added washi tape to the tops and bottoms of my journal pages. Then I have a prayer list for the spring, and I used my green and pink floral notepad from my Etsy shop. So it's similar to this one, only it doesn't have a prayer spot on it. But of course, I used it for a prayer, but you could use it for lots of different things. And I just kind of made a list of things that I was praying over for the spring. It was a really wild spring, and I'm really thankful though for God's provision, His protection, His peace in the midst of every change. And then I didn't do a ton of garden planning in here because I have a whole separate garden journal that I use. And so I just took a few notes in here for my garden plans. So moving on, I have had some spring wellness goals that I was working on. And so I documented that at the beginning. And then I had this future plans page, and a lot happened in the spring, and I used my month rectangles printable for adding months. I didn't end up using the habit trackers at all, and that's okay. You don't have to fill out every single page in your journal. I want to give you that permission. And here are some spring journal spread ideas, some additional spring journaling ideas if I wanted to use some of the blank pages in the back, or even use a different journal to do some more spring journaling. I love how these pages turned out. These are the 1 line a day pages. And so this is just really fun to see, like little micro journaling. And again, I used that same rectangle months printable. I didn't have one for June. I need to reprint this actually. Then I have my morning and evening routine for spring. And again, I'm using the same printable pretty much throughout the whole thing, the spring mugs and journals. Then these are some stickers from Paper Minty Studio, which I love. Then I have kind of spring decor ideas. And so I took pictures of some of our spring decorations that I did. And I just kind of loved how our spring decor turned out. And then I had, at the beginning of spring, brainstormed some house projects to work on, which really spiraled because as my husband went to install a medicine cabinet in the wall, he found mold. And so that just created a whole cascade of things, which is one of the reasons why it was such a challenging spring. So kind of funny to see what I thought it would be at the beginning of spring and what it turned out to be at the end. Then this is places I want to go this spring. Here's some different kind of flower festivals, which we did end up going to a couple, which was great. And then here's some pictures of different places. We traveled to the Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival and to Peony Gardens and Multnomah Falls and the beach. So lots of fun spring trips. But I didn't actually use the packing list pages at all. And then I had the spring wish list. So at the end of June, my husband's brother and sister-in-law and their 2 girls are coming. So we needed to try and kind of outfit our house for 6 people instead of 2. That my husband and I just live here. So we've gotten some things, and some things maybe still to get. Oh, and then we got a hutch from my family, and so that was really, really sweet. And I didn't use the expense tracker or the online order tracker pages, though I probably should have. And then I have a spring bucket list printable, and so you'll see that sprinkled throughout here, and so I love using that. And I printed off a couple pictures, a couple different pictures from those 2 flower places we went, and those are really sweet memories from the spring. Then I have a spring gratitude list. I have a picture of my husband because I'm so thankful for him. And then this is from one of my gratitude journal printables that I'll have linked below. And then I have this really sweet picture of my husband's friends who came and helped install our new HVAC system. It was so sweet of them to give up their Saturday and come. And so I wanted to put that in there. And then I have an additional job I'm doing right now, and so I put a picture from that. And so that's a little gratitude list. And here are some spring themed books. I did finish 2 books so far this spring. I'm filming this flip through video a few weeks before spring ends, so maybe I'll get a few more books read, but we'll see. I'm partway through several books, in addition to the Bible, of course. And here is spring food and drink bucket list. I took some just fun pictures from Starbucks. I love the Starbucks spring drinks, so documented that. And then I have some of our favorite spring traditions. So I have last year and this year's lavender tea party picture. So it's really fun to see how big the lavender got in just 1 year. I love that. And the first Thursday of May is National Day of Prayer, so that's fun to have an event at our church each year. Normally every Memorial Day we go to the beach. We also have summer breakfast at our church, and so they technically start down during the springtime. And so I have a picture from that. We also try and go to different flower festivals. We plant our garden and often do a Mother's Day hike with my mom. So those are some of our spring traditions. Then here's my little spring self-care page. I didn't end up getting any bingo, but again, I have a couple weeks of spring left. But fun to kind of have this and have these little pictures. That's when we were at the beach and my husband fell asleep on me, and it was just really precious. And I wanted to document it. I didn't do any doodle pages. And here are some songs I've been loving this spring. Don't You Give Up on Me by Brandon Lake is a favorite. Breakdown by Andrew Ripp. Of course, Forrest Frank on repeat around here. No Fear by John Reddick. So a lot of really great Christian songs that we've been listening to a lot this spring. Here were a few spring recipes. I have a lavender chamomile cake. I have a great hamburger bun recipe I've been using. And then I loved how my tortilla turned out in the shape of a heart. Here were some different spring movies. We didn't really end up watching any of them, but that's okay. But what we did watch is The Chosen Part 1 in the movie theater, so I can't wait to watch the rest of that when it comes out on Amazon Prime. Spring adventures. I had a fun Kentucky Derby tea that I went to, so I put the invitation in here and some pictures from the event, and then some pictures from our Mother's Day hike. And I love this giant stuffed peep from Walmart that my husband took a silly picture of me holding. And some of my favorite spring outfits, lots of dresses, and some of my other favorite spring clothes. I have this whole spring craft bucket list, but this was not the season for crafting, and that's okay. I did some journaling and reflecting, and at these pages I was just kind of thinking about all that happened this spring and, just God's faithfulness and His peace that has been with me through all of the highs and the lows. Didn't do any happy meal or party ideas. I really love how this page came together. I print my things on white sticker paper and add them to my journal. And so these are just some sweet spring memories. And I love just the washi tape and the stickers and the element from one of my Creative Faith printables. And I just think this page came together really nicely. Then we have some Easter adventures. That's me with my brother-in-law. There's Juan holding an egg. You can't see it, but it says poop on it. It was a brown egg. And then just a fun list of some spring favorites. And then I love the last page in here. It has these little frames, and so I cut out pictures to put in these little frames with some Creative Faith printables. And just a really fun, sweet favorite spring memories to just remind me that even in the midst of a hard season, that God is still good and there's good moments in the midst of hard times. So that is a flip through of my full spring journal from 2025. Again, I'll have the setup video for this linked down below, as well as my setup and full flip through video from last year as well. If you want to see it, it will be kind of interesting to kind of go through them side by side actually and see how they're similar and different. Don't worry, I won't do it for the whole thing, but just kind of fun to see the differences and similarities. And be sure to pick up a summer journal as well so you can document your summer season. So those are Amazon affiliate links, which means I get a small commission if you use that link to purchase. So thank you for watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any Creative Faith videos. And I will see you next time. Bye, friend.